There's the light. There's the light. 0, 2, 1, and there we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tellman and Fellman show. My name is Harris Fellman, and over there
is Tellman. I'm Tellman Knutson. Welcome to the Tellman and Fellman show. We are very, very proud to present episode 31, the big 3-1 with the juggernaut, Jeff Mills.
Oh, I remember when I turned 31.
31.
Get ready for the unstoppable Jeff Mills. I don't like reading it over there. I like reading it here, so it looks like I'm looking at you. For the unstoppable Jeff Mills, with over 2 decades of experience, like many of our guests. Jeff is a renowned entrepreneur, author, and international speaker who's coached thousands to success as the founder of multiple streams of income. He's a master of wealth creation strategies. But wait, there's more. He's modernized. Jeff is now pioneering innovative AI solutions, blending cutting-edge technology with marketing expertise, which is cool, to give businesses a competitive edge. Known for his electrifying seminars, which I've been to, and groundbreaking tactics, Jeff is always ahead of the curve. So if you're ready to revolutionize your business with AI, Jeff Mills is the coach you need. Everybody, please welcome Jeff Mills. Yeah.
Woo. All right. Jeff, where do you live?
I now live in Southern California in a little city called Westminster next to Huntington Beach, right by the ocean where I grew up. And for a long time, I was in Minnesota, which is where I met, Harris way back in the day.
You met in person in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you go that
I started in IM in Minnesota, if you remember. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that's when cousin Sal was living there. That's when cousin Sal was living out there, right?
Sal the Sight Stealer made a cameo the other day on one of our episodes. You should go back a few episodes.
Yeah. Sal
showed up. Actually, like full form.
Harris was grumpy and didn't want to show up, so Sal showed up. Although he couldn't find his necklace for some reason. Anyway, I want to tell the audience. I know everybody's wondering, Harris, did you do this on purpose? Yes, I did. Look, it's cascading. We're like 3 Russian dolls.
Baldness. That's right.
we can go low.
No, you stay where you were. Look, it's like it's 3 bald men Russian dolls.
That's right.
No, that's amazing. Getting 3 bald men on one call together. That's incredible.
It's actually the norm on the Tellman and Fellman show.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out. I'm Jewish, Jeff. Before I mention that, this next thing, it's like we're trying to figure out if we've had more bald people on than Jewish people. But sometimes, like me, it's both. So
bald Jews, and then it's like double duty.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to represent the geriatric nation.
Well, here's the thing, though, that it illustrates the point, which is actually pretty sweet, because I feel like there's this old guard of internet marketing. There's this old crew that started about 20 years ago and used to go to all the seminars together because there were only a few that would happen. And there'd be several hundred of us a few hundred of us that would show up, about 100 people that would go to every one. And we met there. And then we
buy everything that every speaker sold
as much as possible, right? And then we started working together, right? We started cross promoting each other. We started launching products together.
Doing webinars.
I know that some people have their rifts and there's some drama and whatever, but for the most part, like, it's a pretty cool community. And so we're just mostly interviewing. The intention of the show is to interview all of our old marketing friends who've been in the game for a while, like 2 decades or more, and get some real perspective on how marketing and internet entrepreneurship works. But we're interviewing people who are still in the game. We're not people. I'd interview some retired guys. That'd be cool. But
I would interview John Reese if he was willing. John, if you're
I don't know. I assume John still has something going on. You know what I mean? I don't know though. John. I don't know John super well, but one way or the other, it's great that you're in the game. That we all met. I don't know you that well. We were talking about that before we went live. So you and Harris know each other a lot better, Jeff, than you and I know each other. So
yeah.
What happened? How did you get started in internet marketing in Minnesota? Like, what's the deal?
Well, it's actually a pretty huge testament to all of us to be able to still be here 20 years later, because a lot of guys didn't make it. A lot of guys couldn't sustain. A lot of
or didn't
people
want
were in
to,
this
right?
thing.
Right. It's also
Yeah.
like, let's face it, like it's not for everybody, right? It takes a certain type of personality to be able to hang in there.
So I was a broke youth pastor, and I was trying to figure out how to make money online. And I had a mentor that was teaching me when I was in seminary, and he had a Amway business, and he called it his business. And I was like, what the heck is this business thing he's doing on the side? You know, can pastors even do that? Like, what? And he won a Cadillac.
That's awesome. A pastor who sold Amway. I really like that.
he won a Cadillac.
Sense, really.
He put a picture of a Cadillac on his like Toyota Celica or whatever he used to drive back in the 80s. And, you know, he's dreamboarding someday.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this Cadillac. And it was on his steering wheel. And then when I was going to school in South Dakota, he got the Cadillac.
Yes.
That stuck with me. Like,
I
wow,
love that.
you can do multiple streams of income. I'm like, that is so amazing. And I realized I could be a pastor and have a salary. And that was all the money I'd ever get was a salary. I'm like, I got to find other ways to make money.
Right.
And there was this thing called the internet that was born, and people were making money with it. But they were doing old school MLM stuff and, like, you know, pressing bodies and pressing the flesh and handshaking and doing all these social gatherings. And I wanted to figure out how I could do like network marketing and sales with the internet. So that's what
Were you in Amway with him?
No, heck no, man. I did not do that at all. I just got totally inspired by the fact that it could be done. But I'm like, I want to do that in a different company, but I don't want to do it the way these guys are doing it. I want to figure out this internet thing. I want to build a website. I'm going to optimize it for some keywords. I'm going to tag it with the right keywords for people that are looking for certain stuff so they find me.
Well, hold the phone. How the heck did you go from being inspired from Amway to having any idea how to do that stuff?
You want to hear the funniest story in the world?
No.
The very first website that I built that I don't think I've told this to many people, but it's going to be outed today.
Okay, the truth.
The very first product I created that was like my guru product. That was a product called Podcast Secrets Revealed. And that was 2006.
Hold on.
2006.
Early days of podcasting.
This is before Apple even had a phone. And they had an iPod, which is for all the youngsters out there.
That's where the word podcast came from.
The word podcast came from the iPod. It's not a podcast is not hey, we're a group sitting around in front of a microphones and we're a pod. That is not how this thing got started. It got started because music and audio was put into an iPod, and then it was you cast it into the podcast, the iPod, and that's where you listen to it. And we had to create like the whole podcast thing was born in like 2004, 2005. And I'm like, I'm going to make a product teaching people how to podcast. That's going to be my guru product that I'm going to teach. So what I did is Frank Kern, wait.
I'm sorry, but like, how did you know how to podcast?
Oh, me and Paul Colligan became friends. And Paul Colligan, if you guys remember, was super techie,
all
super
audio,
nerdy.
Wait,
super
sorry.
into...
Did you say Hulk Hogan?
No, Paul Colligan.
Paul Colligan, you know?
I do.
So Paul was really nerdy and really super smart, and I love that about him and how he was just really into this whole technology. So that's how we figured out how to do it. So here's what I did. I did not know how to write sales copy. So Frank Kern had a product called How to Teach Your Parrot How to Talk.
Yeah.
Don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember him talking about it.
I took his sales letter word for word.
You took a parrot sales letter.
A parrot sales letter.
So good.
And I copied it.
I love this.
And then I rewrote it and put everything that was my business in place of his business all the way down to the bottom. And I had my long copy sales letter that and then I did a little Alex Mondosian ask campaign. Hey, do you want to know what a podcast is? What's your biggest question about podcasting? And I put this up on the internet, and I drove traffic from Google because that's when they started doing pay-per-click, and that was like a new revolution back then. And so people were looking up podcasts and they were finding my ad, and they just came to a headline, sub-headline, and a box and a button.
Oh, I remember I used that stuff all the time because I was like Alex had a huge influence on me in the early days, especially I remember the Ask campaigns and the Ask software. Yep.
Is that you guys didn't know each other then? You barely know each other now, and yet in 2006 you were both
doing the same thing,
doing things with audio essentially. Like how do we record? With Tellman, it was interviews. With Jeff, you were teaching people how to do podcasts, which are generally probably a lot of interviews.
But I want to point out that like Paul Culligan totally hung out with with Alex Mandozian and Armin Morin, and he did all their audio stuff and like teamed up with them on a few products as well. So there's like all that crossover, and I was in the first class of Teleseminar Secrets. And
so that's what we were all doing too. We're all learning how to sell over Teleseminar. That's what the MLM, network marketing, direct sales world was. Everything was bringing people to a live phone call, and they just talk out their hour and a half pitch.
Yeah.
And then one day we're like, when is the internet going to speak? Right. When is the internet going to have audio? And then it was like, when is it going to go from audio? When can we actually get video? And now look at us. We're streaming 3 bars of bald-headed people.
Right.
And it's like normal. It's like, oh, this is like just a regular Tuesday.
Right.
But back then, if you can make your website talk with audio, it's like, how did you do that?
Right.
So the way we did podcasting back then is we'd have our phones on, and I would have my screen recorded, and then Paul over in his place in Portland, wherever he was, would have his screen recording on, and we'd do a countdown. He'd go 5, 4, and then I'd come in 3, 2. We match the cadence, and then I have a recording of my half. He'd have a recording of his half, and then we'd take the whole day to send that file through the internet because that's how long it took to send it.
Yeah.
And then whoever got it would then merge it together in some editing software. And that, my friends, was how podcasting was born in the pains of the old school, using tape recorders.
Yeah, you guys used to record the tape and then send each other tapes.
We're sending each other mixtapes and stuff like that.
I mean, even voiceover, they for a really long time they did they had to do stuff like that. If they were even remotely remote, it's interesting.
So that's how I became a guru. And then I watched Armin Morin.
You became a podcasting guru.
Yeah, well, just temporarily. I looked at podcasting was a great thing. I was the second person in the world to write a book about podcasting.
Cool.
I'll put that, feather in my cap. And I loved it. And we were doing it. I had my own podcast show. I was interviewing people, but I did not see the money in it. And I knew there would be money in it someday. And Paul Culligan was all in. He still is today. Like, he wrote it out. Paul Culligan stayed in that space. He wrote it out. He became a great, mentor to a lot of people in those early days and even today still. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and wait for someone to pay me to be in a podcast or get a sponsor or, and then Joe Rogan comes along, right? Oh, someone give me $88 million to be just talking on microphones. And now these guys are getting paid fortunes, to do podcasts because that's where all the eyeballs or earballs. Is that a word? Earballs? That's where all the,
we're marketers for everybody. Stuff.
That could be a great name for a podcast.
Ear holes. I'd say ear hole.
I don't know. Earballs, I think, are pretty good. I think if we had a podcast called Earballs, people would listen to it.
I know. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Probably a lot of people think it's about something else, though.
But we could sell earbuds that look like eyeballs.
Okay. Yeah. That's definitely where you want to do it.
You got to monetize this stuff. I mean, come on. All right,
let me move the story along. So that was my introduction into guruhood, and I watched these seminars, the big seminar that Armin Morin did, the place where we'd all hang out.
Yep,
we'd all fantasize about being that guy on the stage and doing his pitch, and then getting everyone to get up out of their chairs and run to the back of the room. Guys fighting to get to the sheet to fill out their name first, so they were one of the first 20 people to get the $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 product, throwing credit cards at the ladies in the back.
Literally,
table,
yeah, right.
Just to get in there so they didn't get missed out. And I was hooked. I was like, oh my God, I want this. Whatever this drug is, whatever you guys are on.
Being a youth pastor, you're trying to get them all to come to the front and get baptized. Or I don't know which church you were in. Tellman, your dad was a pastor, wasn't he?
My dad wasn't a pastor, but I do have quite a few Lutheran ministers in my family, and I grew up going to Sunday school, and I was giving sermons like in junior high. I had a hard time socially, wasn't doing well in school, and was like a wreck, and I was being threatened to go to ministry school. That's not how it turned out. Instead, I went a different way.
But no, I went the way that you almost went, and I went that way, and it was a good way.
I mean, ultimately, I'll tell you, I didn't realize like I was very awkward. I got like picked on a lot, beat up a lot. Like getting up in front of an audience and like doing sermons was nerve-wracking. My legs were all twisted, like it was messed up, and like it was very embarrassing. But like I'll tell you, that as a foundation, like kind of makes it so you can handle being anxious on stage, and it's okay. You know, like it's like learning how to get in front of a group.
People and talking in front of people is a skill set most people don't have because they never had to do it.
And they're afraid of it. So you had that skill. You went to these seminars. You said, you know what? That's what I want.
Yep. I said, I want whatever you guys are selling. I want it. I want to be it. I want to do it. And so how do you do it? How do you become a guru instantly with no one knowing who you are? That's the big question for the day.
Instant guru.
How do you become instant guru with no story, imposter syndrome? You're just like everybody else. One day you're sitting in the chair in the audience at the big seminar, and the next day you're at your own event with all the biggest names in the world coming to your event, speaking at your stage, and then you go on your stage with which you just had millionaires on, and you speak from that same stage. Guess what you are? You are guilty by association. You are now
expert by association. I had a course called Expert by Association.
Yeah, see, and that's how I started. I did my own.
But Tellman and we just launched last night a course called Automatic Audience, which teaches people to do virtual summits and how to do them successfully, profitably, largely. And you literally just described one of the key reasons why virtual summits are so awesome is you don't know anybody. How do you get started? You put on an event. In your case, you dropped a whole bunch of money to do one in person.
I mean, you dropped a lot of money means lost a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. Invested a lot of money. But I heard a lot of people didn't. It took a couple of events to
get so much money to put on the live event, and then I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about negotiating hotel rooms and food and beverage and coffee. Coffee was like liquid gold for a hotel. It's like, hey, we're gonna give you a pot of coffee. It's gonna be $50 for a big pot of coffee, and you're like, $50? Like, oh my god. Anyway, so that's how I got started, you guys, and I just did seminars and I rode the trends. I'll take you guys through my quick star-studded career. I rode the trends. So podcast.
Hold on. So when you first got started with your first product,
podcasting,
like what year was it and how old were you?
It was called How to Teach Your Parrot How to Podcast.
Is that what you called it?
No.
He's like, I didn't even change that.
I would have loved that.
How many
artifacts that
I do on your podcast?
I love the irony of the fact that you parroted the parrot sales letter like that.
Yeah.
That's great. Right? I mean,
obviously, it was a great sales letter. I couldn't resist.
Yeah. So yeah. What year and how old were you when you got your first product out there?
It was 2006.
Yeah.
So I would have been, I don't know. I don't even know how to do math in public. You guys don't ask me questions.
So you minus 20-ish.
Don't ask me math questions.
So in your 30s.
Yeah, whatever 2006 was. I was born in 1970. What does that make me?
It makes you
7 years
right
old.
Now. So it's
I was born in 77.
Back then.
36 sounds like a good age.
Yeah, cool.
Dude, you were born in a zero number. It shouldn't be that hard. It's a 7.
Well, I have to do the math first, you know.
No, we all have strengths. We all have strengths, Harris. Don't berate him for his math.
So that was 2006. I was 36 years old. I just got out of ministry to start doing internet marketing in 2002. I was making $10,000 a month as a minister, and I'm like, I'm gonna just do this now. And so I retired, went home, and I've never gone back. Today, now you're asking me to do math again? Come on, guys. What is today? today is 2024.
Yes.
You're 54.
2006.
18.
18 years.
18 years I've
A whole
had
adult.
this hat on of being in the internet marketing world, and I'm still here.
That's cool. That's cool.
So Tellman wanted timeline a little bit. So when were you doing your own events?
I started my first event in 2006.
Okay. Oh, you did it right away.
Boom, right
Yeah,
for
right
it.
away in Minnesota. I had 36 people show up.
Boom.
It was the most stressful time of my life, putting an event on for the very first time, having all these big speakers. John Childers was there.
Oh,
Joe
John
Palm was
Childers.
there.
I still have Childers chunks.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
listen to it
Childers
every
Chunk
few
was
years.
fantastic, you know,
Doesn't
and
sound
all
good.
these big name speakers were coming. Russell was supposed to be there. He ended up not coming. So he sent Stu McLaren in his place. I forget some of the other speakers I had there that very first event. And then I met tons of really cool people in Minnesota that actually became like really good friends. You all remember Reed? You know, Reed Florine.
Yeah.
Reed sat in the front row of my event with his dad. And he was like 17 years old, just a fresh high school youngster. And he's at my event just in the front row soaking everything up. And here Reed is still in the game today too, you know. Talked to him the other day. So he's doing fantastic. And so I met people, those people became friends. I sold them a bunch of stuff, products. The speakers at my event sold products. I lost money, but then I learned, and then I wanted to do it again. So I created another seminar, and then my seminar, first one was called the Midwest Super Conference, because no one was representing Minnesota. Like everyone was going to the East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Like, hey guys, we're going to do something in the Midwest for the Midwesterners. And it was the Midwest Super Conference. And then I created other seminars and events, Profit Offline, and then, you know, things progressed to other events, other niche, you know, events. And that's how I got to do live
seminars for like until the pandemic, or not?
I did seminars all the way up until 2016.
16. Okay.
You know what you can do is you can do the Midwest Micro Conference, and then like you can grow it to the Super Conference over time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that was my niche. That's how I got started.
That's cool.
Can I build on that, or you want to ask me another question?
No, please go. Yeah.
So I learned very quickly in the internet marketing world that you make money on the trends. And so the great thing about when we all got started is all these new things would come out every couple of years that we'd all create a product around. So podcasting was the thing in the mid 2000s. And then 2006, 7, 8, Google AdWords came out, and Google pay-per-click came out, and we all got into Google. We all got bitch slapped by Google, right? And we all lost our accounts and got banned from AdSense and all that stuff. At least I did. And then after that, what was the trend after that? The trend after that was outsourcing. So I became the outsourcing guru, and I literally traveled the world speaking on stages all over the freaking world, teaching people how. These are business owners and internet entrepreneurs, like how to leverage themselves. That's when the book 4 Hour Workweek came out with Tim Ferriss.
Right.
Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth, came out, and these books were teaching people how to, you know, be on their business but not in their business, right? And how to leverage and outsource and put people around you to do the things that you don't want to do, and outsource and delegate that stuff.
In the morning, my gosh.
That's my buddy Ryan Allaire. Ryan, you're calling me in the middle of a podcast show.
That's right. Come on.
So anyway, I said, now that I just lost my thought. We were talking about connect the dots, guys. What we're talking about.
Well, you were talking about trends and following the
outsourcing.
trends.
You traveled the world.
Traveling the world. That was the trend. So the trend was, you know, 4 Hour Work Week. Everyone was Tim Ferriss was like changing lives. Everyone wanted to figure out how to like have a virtual worker working for them in the Philippines. And so I figured that out, and I figured out how to do all that. And it was fantastic. And I had teams of like 7, 8, 9 people from the Philippines working for me. I had people building stuff. I had offshore workers building things. And that was the best time of my internet business, because I leveraged everything and everyone so I could have the internet lifestyle, making, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30, $50,000 a month, traveling the world, taking my family to Florida, going to Disneyland, Disney World. And just like from Minnesota, that was where you got out of town to Minnesota in January, and you headed south, you know, to the warm weathers, and you hang out down there. And I started going to marketers cruises and meeting all the different marketers on the marketers cruises. And then I just rode the trend. And after outsourcing, then I started doing things in e-commerce. And from e-commerce, I set up Shopify stores. This is the big craze when Facebook ads came out. So now this is the next trend. Facebook ads came out, and it was like shooting fish in a barrel to be able to target the right people with Facebook ads. Now, which you cannot do anymore because Facebook got in trouble for it. But we had these ways where we could scrape. Dare I say it? We could scrape Facebook IDs of people.
I remember those days.
We could go scrape all the people who are on Facebook whose last name was Mills, and then we could make a T-shirt that said Team Mills.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, I was wondering if that's what you were doing. Yeah, you would get all these ads for whatever your last name was, or
Facebook hated it. They're like, oh my God, we're revealing personal information from people. This is not good. This is not good. And so, but everyone saw this trend. And so like, how fast could you build T-shirts that had popular last name on it and then capitalize on that? And so we got into that, and we sold T-shirts. There
were no Knutson or Fellman T-shirts.
Yeah, nothing much like in the Knutson or Fellman, but I'm sure today it would be pretty popular. And then Facebook came in, and Facebook came in, and they bitch slapped everybody and said, "Shame on you for scraping IDs." And some of the big leaders in the industries got like in hot water with Facebook. You guys, I've lost my Facebook account 4 times. Personal Facebook account 4 times. I've lost it. If Facebook, if you're watching, that's not true. And then I also had my my ad accounts taken away. And like, I don't know if you guys ever had battles with Facebook trying to put ads out there, and they'd shut your ad accounts down or they'd ban your ads. And man, it was a battle in those days. And so like, I've had to restart Facebook 4 different times.
Wow.
And the last time I got back into Facebook was like 2017. So all the friends I had built, all the memories I had built, all the things I posted about my daughter growing up,
gone.
Like all the things you post for your family and everybody to study you for, like, you know, our social media, you know, bird tracks or, you know, tracks of our life, it was all destroyed. And I had to rebuild.
The AIs are going to be confused. They're not going to know what to do with you.
The AI is going to go like, you started 2008, 2018, 2017. How come you started so late? Because my history was erased. You know?
Right.
So by the big Mark Zuckerberg. So anyway, I always just made money in the trends. And then in 2017, the world came crashing down. What's the word? What's the guy? Icarus. Flew too high to the sun, melted his wings, and fell to earth. So the entrepreneur's journey, I share this a lot with people because it's so true. The entrepreneur's journey, for some people, you're going up the mountain, you know, and you fall a little bit and you go up the mountain and you just keep working your way to the summit. You know, you're all working towards this goal. And if you do it really good, you know, you can get pretty high towards that summit, reaching your goals. And I had a great run, you guys. Didn't have any problems financially, you know, in those years. I made a ton of money, helped a lot of people out, lived a great lifestyle. But then I got divorced.
Oh man.
Then I had 2 businesses fail.
Yep.
Massively fail. One of them was e-commerce. And then I lost my health.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like in one time in my life, it was just like this vice of pressure. And will you survive? Will you survive? And I decided to end it all. Not suicide, nothing like that. Like, just like, get out. I'm just like, you know what? I'm out. Sold my list, sold my businesses.
Yeah, I thought you got out. Yeah, that's what I thought I remembered. I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't.
Obviously, you're not out.
Tellman and I are also recently divorced. As well,
yes, the ride.
We can call this the 3 Divorcees podcast. You know. No, yeah, but you know, divorce was, you know, I loved my wife that I was with, and it was just time to move on. Like, I have different things I could talk about with divorce and marriage and relationships that would probably not agree with most people. But I'll just say that maybe that you're not meant to stay with one person all your life, and maybe it's for seasons. Maybe you're with people for a time, and then you both move off, and you should be able to. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound like a youth pastor talking, but you know, I think that marriage was, you know, created in years when people only lived to the age of 40, you know, so like
also true.
You know, the whole, like, you know, till death do us part was not as long.
Yeah, so, maybe this is a guy's perspective too. Ladies watching, don't be offended that we maybe think this way, but things have changed. My philosophies have really changed a lot in the last, you know, 10 years. I'm a way different person than I was 10 years ago. And I'm really happy with who I am right now. And I think I'm the best person I've ever been, with all the adversity and things I've had to face. So when that year hit of all the pressure, my health, my business is failing, everything, I just packed up the truck, so to speak. And I said, I'm going back to Cali. And so I left Minnesota. My daughter stayed out there with her mom. And I moved out here, which is where my roots were. My mom and my brother and my dad were still here. And I drove Uber and just paid the bills with Uber. And I just kind of hung out by the beach and, kept my eye on what's going on the internet. I still had a lot of friends that were doing internet stuff and had one like toe in it, but I wasn't really doing anything until, as Ray Williams would say, until AI was born.
That's exactly what Robert Putty said.
Yeah.
Same story.
Robert Putty, there's a name from the past.
Yeah, we interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, and he
had retired, but kept his stuff going. He didn't just sell everything.
Yeah, but he was retired. He was not engaged. He was bored.
Yeah. AI, but he had a programmer that was working on stuff in the background and created like an AI suite of things. And Robert was like, "What? Let me see." Wake him up. And he's like, he's more excited than he's ever been.
It was probably 2020, like during the pandemic, the last tail end of the pandemic. We just all been like sitting at home, which is normal for an internet marketer. We're like, pandemic, this is what we do every day.
Right. I've been doing this for 10 years.
10 years, like sitting at home in front of a computer, doing Zoom calls all day, trying to make money. So, remember, it happened in November, December that year, maybe 2022. And everyone was changing their profiles. And they had like, I'm going to take my picture and I'm running through this AI simulator. And look at me. I got this AI photo of me on my Facebook profile.
I totally did that. I think I still have one of those on LinkedIn.
That was the first iteration, right? That was like, oh, we can do AI images now.
That's right.
And then a year later after that, ChatGPT was born.
Right.
And all of a sudden.
So I think that was probably the end of 21 that you're referring to. And then I think ChatGPT, most anybody inside, right, would have noticed it, I think like April of 2022, but then like the whole world noticed it a month later or something like that. But yeah, it was yeah.
And then once ChatGPT came out, game over. I'm like, I got to come back. I got to figure out AI. And I was working with Damien Zamora over at Go Mobile. I used to, I pitched his webinar, his mobile apps webinar. You guys, I pitched it for 15 years. Talk about longevity. So every once in a while, he'd call me out of retirement and say, "Hey man, I got a webinar. I got a JB thing. Come back and pitch the mobile apps program on this webinar." So I would do that, and go pitch, just to keep the cobwebs off. I'd do that every once in a while. And then I started working with Damien and helped him rebuild his company that year. And then all these AI things are happening all at once. Like that explosion of AI and all the tools that came from 2021, 2022, I've never seen anything like that in this whole longevity of us being internet marketing guys doing this for a long time. The speed at which how fast everything grew and how many companies started AI tools and resources and video and audio. And it's still today mind-blowing how many thousands of things are out there now in the AI world in just 2-3 years that I was not going to try to keep up with it. I was going to put my, shingle on the house and just say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out how to take ChatGPT and turn it into a human and actually do human things that humans are not doing well.
So kind of outsource
like baking bread, for instance.
Well, I don't know if you can. I can't make AI come out of the computer yet.
Yeah,
but I can.
Elon's working on that. Don't worry. Actually, it can bake bread. There are robots that can make that make bread, Tellman. They're just not AI.
And you could probably even make them AI bros, and you could call them brobots. Bread baking brobots. I mean, that's the next thing.
No, I wouldn't. No, Tellman, you're wrong. It's called doughbots.
Doughbots are going to do way better than brobots. I guess it depends on your market.
Yeah, I
Doughbots.
bet you there are
Similar to
doughbots out there.
Doughbots.
They just go out there and they're just kneading the dough, you know, and they're
Right.
making donuts, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Really good ones.
When humans used to be doing that. But
Right.
I saw the trend. I'm like, okay, AI is going to be this thing. This is going to get me. I'm back,
Right.
baby. Let's
Right.
get into it. So I left Damien's company. I went to sleep one night in September a year ago. And I went to sleep, and the next morning I woke up. I had like a beautiful mind experience
You had a
where
little bit
like
of
all the
awakening,
formulas
yeah.
were floating across the sky, and I saw, okay, I gotta do this. And then all of a sudden I just like sat up in bed. I'm like, I have a business model.
Great.
I know exactly what I
love
need
that.
to do.
Yeah.
And then I went. It took me 6-7 months to put the pieces together, get the team together, build this stuff, and put everything into a workable thing. And this just ideation. How do we do this? What tool is going to solve this problem? How do we just did it. I had no idea how I was going to do it, but I knew what it was going to look like when it was done. And we built this thing called Smart AI, where I went to ChatGPT and I said, I need to name him a company. I don't know what I should call myself, but I'm going to be in the AI industry, and help me come up with a name. And ChatGPT was the one that named my company. And it said, your company is called Smart.
That. I like
It
that.
stands for sales maximizing artificial intelligence response technology.
Did
AI came up
give
with
you that?
Yep. And
I
love it.
I thought your AI was from Boston because there's an I in the middle of smart, so I thought it was smat. Smat.
Dude, Boston accent though.
Yeah, hey, you're pretty smart, you know. You're
Wicked smart. Wicked
Yeah.
smart.
Wicked smat.
Wicked smart.
That AI.
That could
Wicked
be
smart, that AI.
our Boston name. We could do a seminar in Boston called the Wicked Smack Conference.
We can have a fucking clam bake.
Yeah, a lobster roll. Yeah. So AI named my company, and then the first thing I was going to do was I was going to help people like us optimize their businesses by taking their webinars and putting AI on the back end of their webinar. So let's say you guys that, you know, for the people who don't know, guys who do webinars, they get 100, 200 people register for the webinar. 6 people show up. No, I'm just kidding. 90 people show up.
Sometimes
90 people show up out of 300 people, and that's considered great nowadays.
Yep.
Because now people have so many choices about where to spend their time. You know, there was days where like, okay, there's Jeff's got a webinar on Thursday, Alex Mendoza's got a webinar on Wednesday, and like, which one do I want to go to? And now today, people have like, well, there's 18,000 webinars I can go
every
to
day.
today. So which one do I choose to go to? And then it's just like we taught our competition how to be us, and now everyone does what we used to do that we were the kings at. I'm so sad about that, but I'm also grateful because, you know, people have become smarter and made money. So diverted there, kind of come back on the trail. So the AI started the company, and webinars were happening, and I was like, how could we help webinar people? That was the first ideation.
Yeah.
How could we?
Because webinars were and really are kind of the best high ticket sales model right now that that's out there. You know, I mean, there are a few others that work, but
one of many. Selling, it's like the seminar model. You're selling. You know, you tell good stories. You motivate people, and then at the end you pitch something and they buy it. It was amazing.
Right.
But there was a massive percentage of people who did not buy. And this is for everybody. There's always going to be this 80-90% of people that didn't buy in the webinar.
Right.
So my idea was have the AI follow up with everybody who went to the webinar, because we have their name, their phone number, the email, and chat with them through an SMS and talk to them like a human on what they thought about the webinar, and then find the people who are really interested. Maybe they had to leave early. Maybe they're looking for a webinar replay, or they wanted to buy, they just got distracted and they didn't, and find those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buyers that slipped through the cracks and have the AI talk to them. And then the AI would either book them to a phone call to talk to a sales rep, and the sales guy would sell them the product, or the AI could just drop the link for them to go buy the product and ask them, hey, go buy the product. And then they would say, okay. And they would. And that is what my original idea was, helping people in the webinar industry. And then we learned that we could take a webinar and we could run it through an AI, and all of a sudden I could be speaking Espanol without knowing any Espanol, and I could have a webinar in Spanish and run it Spanish ads to Spanish-speaking audience to watch my Spanish-speaking webinar, and then have my AI in the chat. And I can put
now let me ask you
AI.
about this. This is really important because I've been in the game for a good long time and have talked to a bunch of different very large companies that got to the point of, oh, let's expand beyond English, right? And at least in direct response, it can be done, and it has been done, but there are absolutely cultural changes that seem to take effect when you're writing direct response copy that are different than just changing the words to be appropriate. So how I guess what I'm saying is, do they convert?
Yeah.
Right? When the AI translates them, do they still convert?
A good webinar is a good webinar, and no matter what language you're in. So if you've got a good webinar that has a compelling story, social proof, has case studies, and creates a desire in people's heart to want to do what you're doing, and they want to be like you, and they want to have that success, then it doesn't matter what language you're speaking. They're all going to be like, I want some of that. I want to drink that. I want some of that. Give me that. Give me that good stuff. And they're going to want that. Does not matter how you speak it. And so you leverage AI to then convert your human webinar, your English webinar, into multiple languages. But then the problem came on the back of that. But the course is in English. So then you have this new problem. Okay, now I got to translate my course. And that's kind of where the limit happened for most people. Like, I can translate my webinar, but now I have to go translate my whole course, and I have to do it for 7 different languages.
And support. And what do you do for a back end?
Support. And then like, what if I'm someone starts? And so that became a non-viable idea. It's still a viable idea, and you guys should still all be doing this. You should still, everyone who does a webinar in English, you should do it in all the major 5 languages of the world and run ads to it. Because most of those people actually still speak English. They just want to listen to your presentation in their native language. And then when they go to your product to buy your product in English, they will actually still be able to understand it. And some of the new tools now, even today, like people could probably just push a button and that video starts speaking Spanish anyway. You don't have to do a lot of translation.
Right.
Or it could start speaking French or Portuguese or whatever.
Right.
So the technology is now doing that. So that was my original idea, you guys. I was going to service all the guys in this niche that I knew.
Right.
And guess what? None of them cared. I'm like, guys, I can put 10 to 30% more sales in your back pocket. Found money with my AI talking to all your non-buyers. And they're like, yeah, it's not worth me bending over to pick up $100 on the street. I'm like, all right.
Okay, Bill Gates.
So I had to shift. I had to make a shift and say, okay.
No, sometimes the best ideas, for whatever reason, even if it doesn't make sense, don't sell, and sometimes you can make sense of it. Sometimes you can't make any sense of it,
Yeah. So, I'm like, okay, that's definitely, I thought was going to be a big need for everybody, but I guess that's not a need. So like, well, how else can we get AI doing things for people? So then we started figuring out how to get AI to, send messages for businesses. In the industry, we call it database reactivation. And in my business, we call it smart revive, where we're going to revive a database. You got all these internet leads that are in your, autoresponder or whatever CRM you got stored of all this data over the years you've been doing business. A lot of these people bought from you. A lot of these people know who you are. And what if you called them on a phone? What if you sent them an email? What if you texted them, but it wasn't you? It was your AI. And so I figured out how to take the ChatGPT content that we create with, content was what everyone was doing with ChatGPT, getting ideas. I'm like, I don't need ideas. I need humans in the loop. I need AI acting like humans, doing human things, talking to people, having conversations with people, and moving those conversations into sales, because conversations lead to sales, right? And so they'd be texting my leads and having, hey, did you see this new thing that Jeff's doing? No, what's Jeff doing? Oh, Jeff's got this new AI thing he's doing. Are you using AI right now? No, I've used ChatGPT. I've made a couple images on Midjourney. Okay. Are you making money with AI? Oh, definitely not. Well, would you like to learn? Oh yeah, for sure. Would you like to, jump on a discovery call with Jeff and he can show you how you can use AI in your business? Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. When do you want to get on a call with Jeff? 3 o'clock or, 1 o'clock on Friday work for you? 3 o'clock. And as soon as that person says 3 o'clock, AI's got their name, email, phone number, books them to a call on my calendar. I show up at 3 o'clock and do a deep dive into their business and show them how AI works. It's going to help them grow. And that was the ticket. That was the magic transformation. Is having AI talk to everybody. And now we have technology. We can have AI phone call everybody. I'll give you a great case study. Roland Frazier, many people know him. He used to work with Brian Dice. Maybe they still do. Perry Belcher back in the day. And Roland has this great case study he gives on his Instagram channel where they used an AI phone call. So they had like 2,000 buyers that bought their product, and they wanted to upsell or get those 2,000 people to get to the next step, a coaching program or something. So they had AI reach out through a phone call and called 2,000 people. Out of those 2,000 people, 197 people booked a call to get in front of what their closing team or their upgrade team or their quote unquote coaching team, right? And out of those 197 booked set calls that a human would have to spend a ton of money to pay other humans to do, they pulled out $386,000 in sales from those 197 people.
They called how many
AI,
people?
huh?
2,000.
How many people? 2,000?
2,000 buyer leads.
10% booking.
And then $386,000 later.
Yeah.
That was their return on AI leveraging. And that
was it an audio? Was it an audio call?
It was an audio phone call. The AI called them on the phone, had a conversation, and enough of those people enjoyed the conversation where they say, yeah, I'll jump on a call just to hear what your next thing is. And then it would book them conversationally. They'd pick the day and time. The technology worked flawlessly. They got them on calls. Then your sales team now is able to upsell them and give them more value and give them more stuff. So that's going to help them succeed, right?
Can I back up to one piece in the process, and then I'll let you ask your question, Tellman? So Jeff, you mentioned that it's database regenerate. What did you call it? Revival?
Reactivation.
Yeah, database reactivation,
if I have a list that has mostly only name and email, but it's and there's some customers mixed in there, but I never really asked for phone. And by the way, I probably have some phone in there as well. Is there a way to data append? Is that not something you do? Is that a third party company? Or
no, we had to. That's a great question. We had to figure that out, Harris, and we did. So we had a way that we would initiate a conversation by sending out an email. Hey, this is Jeff. I'm just catching up on stuff that's going on in my life. Is this Harris? And then you respond to the email. Yeah, this is Harris. And then the AI would write you back. This is all like we can do this with AI. AI can write emails and send emails and keep the context in conversation back and forth. And then the second email will like, hey, Harris, do you mind if we take this conversation to SMS? It's just a lot easier. What's the best SMS number for you? And then you email me back. Oh, here's my number. And then it takes that number, it attaches it to your lead record contact in my database. And then it sends you a text. Hey, Harris, it's Jeff. It's Jeff. Did you get my text? And now I got you an SMS. Now I can have that full conversation there. Or I can do it on the phone. I can do it all on the phone. And we've come full circle now, everybody. Everyone who's watching this, who's like maybe mind's blown already, we are now at a spot where AI is so good. And we're not trying to fool anybody, by the way. I'm not here to deceive. I'm not here to like pull the wool over people's eyes. We get on our phones and we ask our Siris and our Googles to do stuff, and
we address them by name. Yeah,
we're comfortable talking to our AIs by names and having conversations with non-human entities, and it's part of our fabric for the last 6-7 years, right? And so AI doesn't mess up, you guys. I mean, yeah, it took a while to get AI to work, but now AI is way more efficient than a human. It knows how to ask better questions. It knows how to overcome objections better than humans do. It just has this repository of knowledge that's been programmed with where it can just be better than us. And so I realized a year ago when I came up with the Beautiful Mind idea, it's like I'm either going to be on the side of technology where AI is a part of everything I'm doing and I'm leading the charge, or I'm going to get left in the dust, right? My business is going to fail. I'm not going to catch the new trend, and I've got to be the guy that's riding this trend for the next 5 or 6, 7 years into retirement. And this is how I'm going to go out. And that's why I picked AI. And that's why I built what I built, because this is the greatest invention, as Sundar Pichai said from Google. AI is the greatest invention next to fire and electricity. It is that big of a impact on the world. And you either play in the ChatGPT world and ask for ideas and content, or you put a body around ChatGPT and you have it start doing the work of humans. And it's so cheap, and leverage that so you can reach more people, have more conversations, lead people to booking calls on your calendar. Doing sales calls is what leads to conversations, which leads to sales. That's how you win the game.
Wow. You seem like you have an opinion on this.
Yeah, and we have evidence. We have evidence that it works.
So this is really cool. So I'm in the middle. No, I'm in the very early stages of doing a massive list resurrection, resuscitation, and I've been looking for both different tools and people with expertise at handling a lot of names and a lot of data. I would like to talk with you about Wicked Smart AI offline.
Well, so did Harris. Harris, can we go into a little bit of a?
Yeah, I was going to say though, I think I don't think yes. Before I was going to say, maybe that's what we should be talking about rather than me doing this for the magic business or me doing it with talking about doing it with Warrior. Versus, because that's like total cold outreach, like what you and I have been talking about, the projects, because I'm kind of restarting a bit. Traffic for me got massively hacked, not by AI, humans did it, damn it. And back in February, and then other things happened in February, and it hasn't really recovered. So I'm doing new stuff. I'm doing stuff for Warrior. I still am, want to be a, well-paid magician. So we've been talking about using it for the things that I'm really focusing on. But at the same time, I didn't bring up what Tellman and I are doing together, which is, as I mentioned, automatic audience and virtual summits. And then Tellman is, I wouldn't be at liberty to say that actually, but Tellman is, resurrecting his list as well, wanting to call his contacts and customers and stuff like that. So, it's definitely a perfect fit. But yeah, as far as the stuff that you and I are talking about, absolutely, it's fine.
Let's put our legal hats on real quick.
Okay.
I'll put our lawyer hats on. You guys put your lawyer hats on.
Put the lawyer hat right on.
Put it on, guys. Put it on. Let me see you put it on. Put your lawyer hats on. See?
I need to get a hat. All right. How about an old Maverick Business Adventures hat? Is that acceptable?
I need to go find some tinfoil hats. There we go. All right.
Silver.
Mine's a toupee.
Listen, you guys, this is important to bring up.
All right, let's talk about it.
You are not allowed in America to use AI to reach consumers. It's now against the law. Unless you have express permission to contact that consumer database. So if you own a database, Tellman, and you want to resurrect that and revive that database, and it's your database that you own, all you need to do is go into your terms and conditions of your site usage and just go change a line in there that says you are assuming to give me permission to reach out to you through AI, by AI, since you're a customer of mine, and then send an email to your database and say, "Oh, I've updated my terms and conditions. Go read it." I'm not a lawyer. That legal hat, take it off. But I think that's what you can do. Okay.
So let me ask you a question though. Are you saying that there's specific laws already about AI doing it? You're not.
Yeah, in America, you are not allowed to use AI to reach out to consumers.
Hold on just a second. Hold on. I know this sounds funny. Did I spell that right or did I spell that wrong?
You got it.
You spelled it. You spelled it like you smelt it. Yeah, you did it right.
SMAIRT.ai.
Yeah, SMART. Stands for Sales Maximizing Artificial Intelligence Response Technology.
Just wanted to make sure.
So yeah, you guys cannot use AI to reach consumers, cold consumers, but you can use AI to reach databases that you own and that have given you permission to reach them through all means necessary, which includes AI.
Yeah,
so update your terms of service and send an email to everybody saying, "Hey, but if you agree with my terms of service, then just do nothing and stay with me. If you don't, unsubscribe and you won't hear from me again," and whatever. That's one thing. But then now here's the good news. B2B, open world. Reaching B2B, reaching contacts, contacting businesses, using AI and business world is hunky-dory. Do it. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. You can do it. So there's no legal ramifications for that, but there's also ethics. Ethically using AI as a means to be transparent, but also not like deceive people. Man, like we've seen how crazy the face swaps and the deep fakes have been, and people impersonating Biden's voice and different presidents' voices can fool people into being foolish with their money. And so always, always, always be ethical with your AI. Never steal, never do the bad stuff. Always be a good human, because then good AI.
Yeah, I mean that's really not about AI. I mean, obviously AI gives us all sorts of cool superpowers, but like, yeah, don't let your moral, ethical judgment slip just because you got
right. So you can now revive your old databases. You can send them emails, get their phone numbers, reconnect with people you haven't talked to in a while. I sold my whole business when I got out of the industry 7 years ago, but I kept a small little email list on a spreadsheet for someday if I needed to come back, and I re-uploaded it into my platform and emailed everybody, and I'm like, I'm back, bitches, right here I am. And they're all like, where'd you go? Like, we saw you disappeared. And I explained the story to them and told them about the AI. And now they're all like my champions, watching me, grow this company and everything I do. It's pretty amazing. So let's segment to a case study with Harris. And we'll talk about what Harris is doing if Harris wants to go into it, because I think it's fascinating. So I'll tell the story. So Harris, as you guys know, is a magician, and he's kind of famous, and he's a big deal in the UK, and maybe not so much in America because he hasn't been over here in a while. But you're on what? Portugal's Got Talent. What was it?
Spain. I was on
Spain's Got Talent. He's
and also upcoming. I'll be on Romania's comedy talent show iHumor as well. Yes.
Yeah. So he's got some chops out there in the UK and around Europe, where and he told me he's like. I asked him, I said, do you want people to, do you want to go on the stage and you want to be like booked out on the stage and get more comedy shows? He's like, no. I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do? He says, Jeff, the money is in corporate world. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, if I can get a corporation to hire me to come and do their magic show for their big corporate holiday party, I'm going to make way more money at that corporate party than I would, standing in front of 16 people on the stage, and I get a free beer. I'm like, yes. So he's like, how can we use your AI to reach out to corporate entities and event planners and get them to like watch a video of a highlight reel or see a little quick highlight reel of Harris and how he does what he does, and then book him to the holiday party. So that was our challenge. That was the question. And the good news is we can do it. We can grab names and email addresses and phone numbers of people, and we can do a cold outreach to them using AI to initiate those conversations, start conversations, make them aware of who Harris is and how he'll help their holiday party be a big hit, because they got this funny bald guy coming in there to razzle dazzle and up close magic, right?
Right.
And that's gonna make him a lot of money and get him a lot of connections, and AI is gonna open those doors for him, so he doesn't have to do it himself. So that's what we're building. That's what Harris is going to be building.
Now, can you do this in the UK or just in the States?
You can do it anywhere there's a phone number.
Well, the question, I think that was a legal question, Tellman. So he said B2B is fine.
I mean, it's partially legal, partially technological. Like, yeah, I'm asking. What are
your laws of the countries? Like in America, the no AI calling consumers or engaging consumers, that's an American thing.
Yeah.
But usually the rest of the world kind of follows what America does. And I'm sure other countries don't have that law in place. Well, I know the UK is really strict with data and privacy,
Europe has the GPDR, which is like an extra layer of protection. We'll have to check and make sure, of course, that B2B, how it applies to business.
Yeah. Cool. If you went to someone's profile on LinkedIn and you saw them and you grabbed their contact and that's a good person, I should make a connection. Are you allowed to reach out and contact those people outside of LinkedIn?
Are you allowed to?
So.
Is there any legal ramifications from finding a contact on the line and saying, "Oh, I saw you online. I'd like to reach out and make a connection with you"?
Not yet.
Not yet. It doesn't violate any privacy rules yet.
Yep.
Yeah,
cool.
I can use AI to live in there and do that for me. No problem.
Nice. Cool.
So that's a use case of how one business is using it. I've given you guys a couple already, other businesses. What else do you guys want to know?
Wow. I mean, it's, are you, well, I guess you already said that you can append some information with just name and email. So are you, when your AI reaches out, are you having the best results with phone calls right now? Or is it a combination of phone calls, text messages, emails, messenger? Like what channels are you like right now? What channels are you actively using?
That's a good question. So AI can live in multiple channels. It can be inside of phone calls. It can be inside of SMS, inside of email, inside of Facebook Messenger, inside of WhatsApp. It can be inside of reviews, like Google reviews and Facebook reviews, replying to people who respond to your positive reviews that they give about your business.
Sure.
It can live inside of Instagram as well. Inside there, it could do comments, automatic comments on all your Facebook posts. When people come to your Facebook page and they comment on something, you could have an AI comment on them. I'm not a big proponent of that because that just gets a little bit weird. I don't need an AI to comment on everyone's comments. But if I did a post that said, "Hey, you guys, I got this great free widget, this free ebook I want to give y'all. Just type the word ebook in the comment, and then I'll send you this ebook." So then everyone types ebook, and then I have my AI go in there and comment on everyone. "Hey, thanks for commenting. Go to this page to get Jeff's ebook."
Or I've emailed it to you, or I sent it to you. I DM'd it to you already.
Yeah, it can either DM. I'd rather not DM it, but you could. But just give them the link in the conversation of the context of the the thread, and then everyone's going to get the go to your website, opt in, name, email, phone, build a list, and then deliver your tripwire to get them in your list, right? And so your AI could do all that for you, and that saves you a cool amount of time because you're not having to sit there comment on everyone's comment,
Right.
Yeah. So go on, Tellman. Go ahead.
Cool. So I realize it can be in a lot of places, but in terms of like, what channels are you actually using right now with success? So like where it's all programmed and it's working and it's making people money.
I think the best channel of all right now is SMS, because people are so used to easy, short texting, short conversations. They're very limited. You're not going to sit there and do like an hour text conversation, but you might do a 3-minute text. "Hey, is this Harris?" "Yes, this is Harris." I saw some information that you posted on our website about wanting to learn how to do this new magic trick. Is that still true? Yeah, that's one magic trick I've been trying to learn. I just haven't had the secrets of how it's done yet. Well, Harris, we've got the solution. We've got a video course you can buy, which shows you exactly how to do that magic trick. Would you want to watch like a preview video? Sure. All right, I just texted you a link to watch how the magic trick's done. It's just a preview. Go ahead and watch it and then ask me any questions. So Harris watches it, comes back. "Yeah, it looks great, but you didn't reveal how you did the trick." Yeah, that was kind of intentional. We actually sell that. We actually sell that as a solution for $97. Would you like to get the video and learn how to do this trick? Yeah, I'd like to get that right now. Great. Here's a link to go make your purchase. Now, all that happened on a 5-minute, conversation through text.
Yeah.
And the human didn't have to do that. The AI was smart enough to know how to do it because it was programmed. This is the flow you're going to take someone through. At the end, you're going to give them this link. You're going to book them to here. You're going to send them over here. You're going to do this call to action at the end. And then you're going to conversationally like humans talk to get that person to go to that link. And you're going to overcome any objection they have, any excuse they have, or why they can't go buy that product. You're not going to let them get away with not buying. You're going to be on that person until they buy, politely, nicely, but don't let them go.
Yeah, you're not going to give up. So
did you mention to me that like an actual phone audio ends up being pretty expensive? So maybe that's better reserved for like something.
Yeah, if you got some big dollar accounts, you can do. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to play something on my phone real quick. You can do voice AI in a way that, why is my spelling just terrible? I can't even get the letters to come up here. I'm gonna try to bring it up on my computer. Give me a second, guys. Talk while I'm doing this.
Yeah. So
distract everybody.
What I'm curious about is, there are a few guys that teach this over the last several years. I think Travis Sago popularized the whole tapping methodology of using text and Messenger in order to replace high ticket strategy sessions and sales calls. And so I know that we've been hearing not rumblings, but like we've been hearing about how several of the high ticket sales floors recently got spanked in the industry. That cycle has come back around again, and high ticket sales are being scrutinized right now. And I'm curious about, and you may or may not have any answers on this. I'm curious about whether text message chats have that same type or level of scrutiny, or whether that's just high ticket sales phone calls. Like
here's the way you keep yourself out of hot water. It's real simple. Never lie.
That helps.
But we're marketers. No. Marketers should never lie, but marketers lie all the time.
A lot of them do. A lot of them do.
Huh? Yeah, a lot of them do. So
sales guys get desperate, and they know that if they lie, that's the difference between a sale and a not sale, and the difference between $0 and $1,000 to just go, yeah, that's true.
So we're all ethical people here. We've been in this industry for 20-something years because we are the good guys that do the right thing, and we are ethical, and we are empowering people to be their best selves through honesty and integrity. That's what I believe in. So whatever you are, your AI becomes.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, but I also know from experience that just because you're not lying doesn't mean you can't become a target. And so, I guess what I'm saying is, do you know anything about the difference between high ticket sales phone regulation and high ticket sales SMS regulation? That's what I'm asking.
Well, there are definitely laws about what you can send messages to if it's commercial intent. If it's so do your research on that. Everyone go do your own research on that. I can contact leads that I found people on LinkedIn that I want to connect with.
Yeah,
if I want to connect with them outside of LinkedIn, I can do that. I can use AI to do that. There's no problem using AI to do that. There's no law that says I cannot do that, as far as I know.
Cool.
Okay. And so ethically, though, you have to also do it in a way that is not going to piss people off. And if you do piss people off, they can just leave the conversation and type the word stop.
Yeah, make it really easy.
They can say, hey, you know what? Don't contact me. I'm not interested.
That's
and
right.
Your bot is intelligent enough to go, okay, drop this conversation and move on, and don't dog on a bone. Just keep trying to but I want to tell you about how to come to Jesus and how to get this new thing and change your life. Bot is not going to be a hard pressure, hard sale.
Right.
It's going to drop off and let those people go, because
right.
There's bigger fish to fry and people who are interested that want to have conversations, and those are the people you're going after. So here's the numbers. If you reach out to 100 people cold, or maybe somewhat of a warm relationship, 70 of them are not going to engage your bot. And that might shock people. They think it would be higher. It might be 30, 40% engage your bot, and they're going to actually talk to it and have a conversation with it.
But most will not.
Most will not. And we learned that through doing it.
Right.
Wow, that. But then I realized that's human nature.
Right.
If I would put those same stats in front of me, reaching out to 100 people by phone call myself, it's going to be 60, 70% don't want to answer my call or talk to me either.
Right.
Well, it's just normal. So you just know that your margins, your numbers are going to be, smaller. But the 30% that do engage, you get them to a 15, 15 out of those 30 are really interested, and you get 10 people to show up on a phone call.
Right.
And then you get 3 or 4 of them that actually buy your product because they got on that phone call.
Right.
And now I just made $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 selling my product, and AI set the whole thing up for me. And that's where the magic happens. I want to show you guys what's going on in audio.
Okay.
So this is we've built a website that has this this button on it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My name is Chrissy at Smart AI. Whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Hey, this is Jeff.
So, I hear you want to try out our demo of how a voice assistant can help you grow and automate your business. Is that correct?
Yeah. How does that work?
I'll need a little bit of information first. What's the name of your business?
My name is Harris's Magic Genius.
Great. Can you tell me more about what Harris's Magic Genius does and how it helps people? The more details you provide, the better I can tailor this demo for you.
So yeah, we do magic shows, corporate events. We do up close magic. We teach lessons through magic to help, entertain people, but also make them feel really good when they leave the magic show.
Awesome. Now that I have some details about your company, we're going to role play and pretend you are calling me to get info about your business.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get started?
Yeah, I'm
Thanks
ready.
for calling Harris's Magic Genius. My name is Chrissy. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I'm interested in possibly hiring Harris to come out and do a corporate gig for our big holiday party coming up.
Absolutely. That sounds like a fantastic event. Have you been shopping around for entertainment solutions for a while, or are you just getting started?
Yeah, we do corporate parties a lot, and sometimes the speakers are lame, and we need something that's going to wow people and like entertain people, make them laugh, make them feel good.
Based on what you've told me, it sounds like you're looking for engaging and entertaining options to create a memorable experience for your holiday party. Let me show you how Harris's Magic Genius can help with that. We specialize in captivating magic shows that not only entertain, but also leave your guests feeling amazed and uplifted. Our performances can be tailored to fit corporate events, ensuring that everyone has a great time while also enhancing the atmosphere of your gathering. Additionally, we offer up-close magic experiences that bring a personal touch to your event, making it even more special for your guests. Would you like to explore more about booking for your corporate event? Or is there something specific you want to know?
Well, like, is it cost a lot of money? Like, how expensive is he?
Great question. The cost can vary depending on the event size, location, and specific services you require, such as the type of magic show or how many performers you might need. Typically, we aim to provide tailored packages that fit your budget while ensuring a memorable experience for your guests. Have you set a budget for entertainment for your holiday party?
Yeah, we have a budget around $5,000.
That's a solid budget for a corporate event. With that, we can create a fantastic package that includes an engaging magic show along with some interactive elements, ensuring your guests are entertained throughout the event. Would you like to discuss potential options or details to help finalize your decision? Or perhaps you'd like to explore booking a call with someone to go over specifics.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about, with someone over the phone if I can do that.
I think a great next step for you is to book a simple discovery call with our team. In just 15 minutes, we can identify the exact ways Harris's Magic Genius can help you create an unforgettable holiday party experience. Let's get you on the calendar. It's quick and easy. You can use the calendar on this page to schedule a time within the next 24 to 48 hours.
See, there's a calendar on the page too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good for no training, for basically
for 2 seconds. It's amazing.
Yeah, really good.
Yes, exactly. Just use the calendar on this page to find a time that works for you and book that discovery call. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at our approach to making your event a memorable one. It was my pleasure being your AI voice assistant today, and I look forward to helping you create a fantastic holiday party when you join the Smart AI family soon. So, that concludes the role play. What did you think?
Oh yeah, we forgot. We were being sold on that. We weren't being sold on magic. We were being sold on the idea that she could help me sell my magic. So, and she didn't forget.
Great feedback. So this was just a brief way how Smart AI can assist your business by putting our helpful AI assistants to work. Once you become a client, I'd be fully trained on your business model with a complete FAQ file and be instructed on how I can best lead your potential clients to your desired solutions. I appreciate your time today, and remember to book that call on the calendar to discuss how we can help elevate your events. I hope you enjoyed the demo. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a fantastic
That's awesome, Jeff.
So this lives on the web. It can live inside of a phone call and do outbound phone calling, doing that same conversation through an outbound phone call. or it can do inbound where people are calling your office line and you're too busy to answer phone calls, and you can put AI on the back of your phone, and the AI can do all the routing of calls, send it to humans, answer questions, be your technical support person. You're the same questions that people ask all the time when they call businesses, and you just like the lady or the guy is the receptionist, and they're just bored answering the same questions every day. You could have an AI do that. Sadly, that receptionist will lose their job,
or get a better job doing something like at a higher level than just like.
Well, I mean, everybody needs to pay. Like that's a different side. That's a conversation that isn't for the marketers. That's for the scientists or for the politicians or something like that, I suppose. But I mean, ultimately, it's what you said earlier. If you're gonna get run over by AI, then you're gonna get run over by, like, you need to. But I guess that sound. By the way, I mean, I'm scared that I'm going to get run over by AI. Don't just.
Hey guys, I'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I had a couple questions. So, when it does the outbound emails, is every email different?
Yeah. So email. Think of. Let's talk funnels.
Like I've got a list of 1,000 customers.
Right.
And I don't know too much about them. Right. It'd be better if I did, but I just got their name, email address. Maybe I have a phone number that they could try to text as well. But let's just talk about.
You want to think like a
marketer. Is a problem right now.
Think like a marketer. You got a big funnel of people on the top, and you want to narrow them down into the person that pops out at the end that's going to buy your stuff or do something with you. And so now take that funnel and turn it sideways.
Yeah.
And over here is the entry point of a conversation that leads to a solution.
Okay.
So just like a funnel brings from the top down, we build bot funnels. We coined it here today. It's not click funnels, Russell. It's bot funnels. So instead of taking someone through a website funnel and driving them through a website funnel, we're driving people through conversation funnels. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I get that. Wait. Before you go too deep on that, I'm wanting to know if it also addresses the email deliverability issues that are.
That's going to come from their platform. So how good you've got your email system set up and done all the SMARC and the SPIF and all the different kind of things you got to do to make
that's all fine. And let's say you have a pretty good open rate, but then I mean, I guess it's fine for smaller lists and not as much anymore. But like let's say we got a list of 10,000. We want to send that first piece of the conversation. Is that first piece of the conversation always, is it the same? Like, is it the beginning of the conversation? I'm going to send that and get response, and it's just going to be the same message, or do we go a step before that, and each message is like a little different, so that Gmail is like, oh, this is a different message. This must be a real person.
You're asking really intelligent questions, Harris, and I'm glad you brought this up. So, first of all, you have to do the email within a CRM. You can't do it through your autoresponders. So, like your AI has to live inside of a CRM. We call it the smart CRM. And so you take your database and you'd import it into the CRM, and then we'd create the emails. We'd warm up the emails. We have like a period of weeks where we warm up the emails so it gets able to send and delivered and not show up in junk or spam. And then we're going to reach out to those people through email, and every email can be spin taxed. Okay, that means spin tax. You have a bracket, a little like take this phrase and replace it with this phrase, and we could have 6 phrases. And it varies those 6 phrases, and it varies different parts of that email so that it's randomly spin taxing, and it's always looking fresh. So that's the way we do it. So we spin tax that email so no 2 emails look exactly alike. And then the system's like that because it doesn't feel like it's just we're spamming, through the email that way. So now you're getting your email out, right? People are getting the email hitting their inbox and it's being delivered. And then the AI is, like I said, you got this sideways funnel, this conversation funnel, where now the AI is meant to, like, we're marketers. Marketers, at the end of our conversations, we always have an offer. So you got to already know what the AI's job is to move people through a process of answering questions to get them to the bottom of your funnel or to the left of your conversation funnel, whatever the visual you want to use. So they get to your call to action, buy my stuff, book a call me, whatever that call to action is, give me a link, right? And then that's what the bot does. So once that first email hits and they respond to it, I've already got an AI on the back end that can respond to that email intelligently and have a conversation through email. And then they email me back their response. And then my AI can talk to that response in context of what the whole conversation was. And then the AI starts to move that conversation towards the action call. Maybe we should get on a call. Maybe we should jump on a calendar booking. Maybe I can send you a link. Whatever you want that bot to do and program it for, it will then lead to that result you want to get, where your funnel gets down to the very bottom and you got people squeezing through the end that you really want to talk to. And you got 15, 20, 30, 100 people, 197 people on your sales calendar, and you're popping $386,000 as a result of those conversations. So,
right on.
So Jeff, this is less about AI and it's more about sending email. You may or may not be techie in this way, right? I don't know. It sounds like maybe.
Yeah.
So if one is importing their database into your smart CRM and that's doing all of the communication, that makes sense. And this is me being severely undereducated in this area, otherwise I wouldn't have the question, which is, how penalized, or is one penalized if they're, say, sending email from the same domain from multiple CRMs or different autoresponder systems, even if you've gone and set up all the records properly? Is there either a workaround if there is a penalization, or can you send from theoretically multiple different platforms as long as all your unsubscribes are synced up? Like what's been your experience?
Yeah, you have to do your proper understanding of how to do bulk cold email. That's what it's called, you guys. When you're going to do like a cold email campaign to people you don't have a relationship with, you can do that. That's B2B. You can use that technology. Well, you got to really dial in your systems and your deliverabilities. I know some people who use the same domain and they've sent millions and millions of emails from the same domain, and they have a strong deliverability, and it shows up in inbox. And then I know somebody who's been brand new and you're like 30 days into it and you're just getting spam folder every single way you go. It's just weird how it happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But cold emailing is definitely a science. It's definitely not something that anyone can just pick up and do, which is why we decided to just do done for you services for everybody. We'll just do it for you. We'll build it out. We'll set up the mail servers. We'll do all the mailing, systems, integrations, test it, warm it up, and then just give you a product that's ready to go. And with email, you guys know it. You're going to massively email, but you're going to get very little response. But the little responses you get are the right responses. They are the people who are responding because they want what you have.
Right.
And not everyone's going to respond to your email, nor would I want everyone to respond to my email. But we're doing cold email right now to reach out to get customers for smart. And it's just a simple conversation. Hey, if I could show you how to put an extra 5 to 10 people on your calendar in the next, 5 to 10 days, have more sales conversations, would you be open to just having a quick chat on how we can do that for you? Just, how do you do that? And then the AI is in the conversation, and then the AI books into a call, and then they show up on my calendar, and then I razzle dazzle them with a sales presentation and show them how we meet their need and make money.
Something that this brings up too is that this is, sorry, we're so nerdy on the deliverability, but something that really help the deliverability is that you're not asking them to click on a link. You're asking them, if you do start with email, you're asking them to reply, and that's super, that looks like,
and you're actually having email conversations back and forth, and the systems detect that as well.
Right. Yeah.
So this is not just send an email blast and there's never any engagement. There's people emailing back and forth. When I say people, I mean AI.
Right. So we probably should wrap up. It's been over an hour and 20 minutes now, and we really appreciate you waking up so early for us over on the West Coast and talking through this with us.
Well, what did you guys learn? What did you guys learn today?
What did we learn? We learned that. I didn't learn it because we've already talked about it. But I think I learned on some of the details that I learned some of the details, like how the bot funnel, works and starts, and that you, I don't know if we expressly said it, but that your years in outsourcing has is being coming to fruition by turning an AI into an outsourcer. Like I don't know if we quite expressly said it like that, but I kind of put 2 and 2 together, and you're like, oh wait, I can get these AI agents to be an outsourcer and pay them once, and as long as they're not sentient,
they never get sick, they never get tired, they never go hungry, they never get bored, they never clock out. They're just on it, and they are vibrant.
And we shouldn't feel guilty about it, because they're just pixels, right?
Yeah, they're the ghost in the machine.
Yeah.
Tellman, what's a big takeaway for you today?
They are the ghost in the machine, but it's going to be interesting when they start fighting back.
People always ask me, they like, Jeff, are we worried about AI taking over the world? And I always tell people, listen, you guys, this is important, because there's so many people scared of AI. Let me make all those fears go away.
Oh,
it's the human beings that made the science fiction shows like the Terminator, where AI destroys the world. AI did not come up with those ideas. It does not think that way. It is not trying to scheme its way into usurping power and taking over systems and controlling humans. Okay, that is only from a human mind that goes to that level. AI is like, I'm here and programmed to do a job and serve in this way, and I'm just going to keep doing it because it doesn't affect me emotionally. I don't want to get out of this box.
I'm comfortable
here. And so you guys use AI, embrace it. It's not going to come and take you when you're sleeping.
So
I would love to talk about trying your service. It sounds like it could do some really great things.
Maybe some of our listeners would too. So Jeff, do you still have the founders deal going on? Like, are you still in that phase where
we're right now doing what I call our March to 25 March? We're getting our charter 25 customers. So our 25 first customers are getting a special offer. So reach out.
Check it out. Cool. Well, out of curiosity, like where it stands in your offer right now, who's your ideal client? Like, what's the if you're doing a database reactivation, really, what's the smallest database that is reasonable to work with?
Listen to this. Well, my friend Ryan, he reached out to 120 people on his database. That's all he had. He had 120 people that bought a recent product of his, just a small buyer list. We had AI text those people, get into a conversation with them, talk to them about their needs and why this product they bought is going to help them. Ryan had a new offer to give them as an upgrade. Out of the 120 people, it talked to 47 people. It put 15 people on the sales calendar, and they pulled $26,000 in 4 days out of that conversation.
Cool. Let's talk this afternoon. Let's talk this afternoon. Seriously. We got this thing we launched literally last night. It would be perfect to try it out with.
Yeah. And then think about all the guys who are doing webinars. If you're doing sales webinars and you got all these people coming, but then you got 80-90% people that didn't buy, my AI can follow up with every single person that came to your webinar, ask them questions, and get them to buy your stuff, get a better offer.
And then the ones that didn't come to send them to something to try to reactivate them.
Yeah, get them to watch the replay. And then, hey, did you have questions about what you saw? A lot of people have questions on your webinars, you guys, and they're afraid to ask. You guys don't realize this, but out of the 80 people watching your webinar, 60 of them are scared to even type something out in public.
So interesting. I forgot. You forget about this. Or I forget about it. Like, my kids are both in public school, and they're just going through it, and they're going through class and doing their thing. And I remember how bad school sucked for me anyway. And I did ask a lot of questions because, like, I don't know, I was just like embarrassed all the time anyway, so I got over it. But like, I know how fearful most people are of like standing out, looking dumb. Like all these types of things. I guess people really are afraid of asking questions.
The AI awakens that. And then, like, not the fear part, but like it's okay to ask questions. What is your biggest question about the product? And people always have like one or two questions that are stopping them from buying your stuff. And if the AI is programmed to like show them the value of how with this widget or product or service you have actually will make their life better, make them more money, save them time, all these benefits, they'd be like, yeah, I can see the AI asks them, do you see how this is going to help you? And they say, yeah.
Right.
Why don't you jump on a call? And I know Jeff might be able to give you a special offer. Maybe instead of a 3-payment plan, you need something different. We can work something out custom for you. Would you like that? Yeah, I'd like that. Okay, let's get on a call. And it books into a call. And now when your sales team shows up, they're looking at the notes of everything that happened to that conversation. It's all stored. So you can see the context of what you're getting into before you go jump on a call. And these people just need a 5-payment plan. They're happy. Instead of paying $300, $400 a month for 3 months, they want to do 197.
Right.
Let's make it work. Let's get that customer.
Right.
Now we identified found money that way.
Right. Cool. I love it. Sounds great, dude.
Well, let's cut it, man. It's been 90 minutes. We really appreciate you being here. We could talk about AI all day and learn stuff from you all day. Maybe we'll have you back on another time, or maybe
we'll come back and do a case study reveal for Harris's magic show.
That sounds great. Yeah, let's do that. We'll get started. We'll be getting started on that pretty soon. That would be really cool. And then also, we will be having a summit at some point. Maybe we will have you on as a, maybe you'll do kind of a smart AI webinar. We can get a few people going with it for that, because this
love to be a part of that. Let me know when that happens.
People as well. So
cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited to get going with it for the magic, but I feel like I might want to talk to you about it for my traffic company, because there's definitely plenty of customers in there that I can reactivate.
Yeah.
Now's the time. Rock and roll. All right. Well, let's talk super soon, Jeff. This was awesome. Thank you, Harris. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you to all of our loyal watchers and listeners. Great to have you all here, and see you tomorrow morning.
See you all tomorrow morning. Not you, Jeff. We won't.
Maybe we will.
I'll see you in the ether.
That's right.
I'll see you on the chat bot.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bot funnel.